Hi, it's Michelle Turner from Movement Lesson. I know we're all going through really tough times. The most problematic with all of this is just the uncertainty. There's some things that I just need to discuss. Now, whether you do Movement Lesson or not, or maybe you're not familiar with Movement Lesson offers you not only physical, physical meaning that you come into a clinic sessions to help your child, especially your child with special needs, and for you yourself, but we also have probably one of the largest home programs out there. So we teach everything from constipation, let's say vision, rolling over, milestone-based sessions that you can do and familiarize yourself how to evaluate your newborn, get them ready for movement, all the way going into full-on training to become a movement lesson, and learning the step-by-step process it takes to learn how to really work with your child on a daily basis depending on how much your child needs. However, as you know, most of you, we're in lockdown. We're still in lockdown, and this is going to continue. Schools might be opening up, but there is a horrible concern that doesn't mean therapies are going to be opening up. Many therapies are based in a hospital. I can tell you right now, it's going to be a while before institutions are going to allow outpatient services. Right? It doesn't matter even if that it's therapy. It's still outpatient that they're bringing in somebody from they want to keep the hospitals so much on lockdown, and this is going to continue for a long time. There's going to be centers that are open, therapy areas that are just going to be too many in too many areas. You might have concerns that your child is just too unstable to go into these kind of environments, and rightfully so. This is your call. This is your call against, again, uncertain times, but it's also your call as a parent, and you have a right to protect your child. My son has autoimmune failure, right? So he's barely gone anywhere, and even I have to keep my distance because I'm here, but I'm still working with special needs, and it's not like they're in group activities and coming here, so I'm still watching my client base. So what is the first thing you need to do as a parent with these new conditions? It's not only that you're getting used to homeschooling, you're really getting used to, in a sense, a home program for various therapies. The first and foremost is always to stabilize your child. Stabilize it, I mean, a lot of our kids have medical complications. We have to make sure that the home environment is set up for as much as possible, right? Even having those extra supplies on hand just due to breakdowns in communications or people not being available to answer your calls for orders and so forth. So you really want to be almost a month ahead, right? We used to say this for salary. Now we're going to say this for special needs supplies. Diapers, all of that, wipes. You want to be ahead of the program as much as possible. Food, yes, obviously, but our children's requirements are just different, and most people just don't understand that. It's not about just having peanut butter and jelly in the house. Some people have to have catheters, suctioners, pulse oximeters, leads, and all sorts of things, and most of you are going, huh? Yeah, it's more than just diapers. And then you want to make sure that your child is stable. So whoever comes into your environment might be an issue. You want to watch what you're doing on that premises. Maybe they come to the door only, come into a certain area only that you can wipe down, be more efficient. It all depends, again, on your needs. That's your first and foremost, is stabilizing the system. If you need more information on that, I do have a free PDF. It's quite substantial on the 7 essentials for working with your special child that you can go to Movement Lesson Academy, movementlesson.academy for that information. And I'm just going to continue with that. Now again, whether you do Movement Lesson or not, or in other programs, these are things that you need to know out of your therapy program. First of all, are you learning enough from that program that you can at least apply some of it, if not all of it, with your child? Right? Many programs you have to go to a practitioner, which again is fine. Listen, the first thing I'm going to say is come to me, of course. But right now, okay, it used to be money as far as flying around the world. And I said it's beyond money. What if your family circumstances, you just can't have it? It's not about money. I work with so many medically fragile kids. They can't handle a 40-hour plane ride. This is why I do so much. This is why you're watching these videos and hundreds of videos. Okay, I offer lots of open videos, but many of you don't realize that more and more now, just because of this, I offer specific courses. So again, if you're having problems, let's say with constipation, vision, rolling over, milestone development, right? I'm having a swim program I'm starting next week, sitting in vision, things like that, patching, that you need specific help with. Lots of times now we're on teleport. We can't get into the doctors, or we can't even go to the doctors just due to contamination area. So again, stabilizing the child, but you have to now have a plan of action. So just like you have a plan, let's say for your supplies, you have to have a plan of action for your home program. You want to be able to stimulate your child at least really, I wouldn't say rigorously, but specifically, I would say twice a day. Now, once you get more familiar with how to start applying your program with your child, you should be able to do it when they're eating, sitting with you, just watching TV. It should be casual events that you're offering certain stimulations that require your child. Might be core movement, it might be eye-hand coordination, that you're working specifically with these tasks to aid in that synchronization. You want to aid in the ease. So there's 3 things you need to know. First of all, can your child initiate the task? This might be from learning the rules or actually going into that movement, not completing the movement, just starting to go into, right? This is where I advise lots of people, because I see that initiation or lack of initiation, or where the initiation's going elsewhere. And that's where I come into play and say, oh, we need to work on this, we need to work on that. Like yesterday, I worked with a little munchkin on Zoom, and his crawling was reversed. So even though it looked like an army crawling, and see my shoulders want to go up, his tucked under. And when they tuck under like that, then the feet can't apply what they need to for that thrust. So even though the mom wanted the feet to come down, let's say for the crawl or all fours, I was saying we needed to go after the clavicles first, because there's something happened with the collarbones and scapula area that allowing that rotation, and it was impeding that. And again, it might be something simple like that, but it might be something more complex, like strabismus, which is a vision issue. So you have to have a plan of action, right? Whether you're starting to put on that you're going to do specific stimuli. Now, what I like to suggest is you have, like, let's say you're doing vision. You have a specific box ready to go with your tools, which might include a flashlight, or what some people say torch, beads, let's say a specific item, or items that are very specific. You might want to create a more dedicated area. One of the hardest things is to do therapy at home. It's like, ooh, you know. You might want to put up a table or work only in a bedroom, remove some of the toys, some of the stimuli that's going to create that, I'm having fun with your mom, but I'm bye. And getting more control. Or you might have to, again, save that special item, right, for when it's therapy time, and pull it out so that play is there, versus having an item out all of the time and it loses its appeal or that attraction that you can get a good 10 to 15 minutes. See what I said? 10 to 15 minutes. I get it when you go to usually to a program. Like if someone comes to me, they get an hour, right? But again, I'm set up for an hour within my clinic. What you might be, and again, very specific. And this is why I do like parents really learning how to help their child. 10 to 15 minutes sometimes. If you have 10 to 15 minutes of really successful vision, let's say, or convergence work, like let me tell you, you can't do an hour of convergence. You try to do this with a 2-year-old for an hour, you know, the muscle fatigue, and they just won't have the attention for it. Another plan of action is, I get it that you're an adult, you're working with a child. A child develops and responds to stimuli differently. They don't work, they play. We look at it as work, right? So you just want to change your vocabulary. And again, if you just get those 7 essentials, that'll help you with these programs. Because one of the biggest thing, and the 7th essential is can't versus can't. So many people say, my child can't do this. They don't, it's not that it's can't, they might not even know it's possible. I use this analogy all the time, and I was just talking to my friend in Bhutan yesterday. I've been to Bhutan twice to help the children, and I'm working on my 3rd trip. You're like, what's Bhutan? I can get there today. I can buy a ticket and leave if I wanted to, because I know where it is. I have a plan of action, right? I'd have to go to Bangkok, Beijing. It's a long flight, but I have a plan of action. When you're starting off and you're suddenly special needs, not only a parent, but now a home program practitioner, right? That's like, I'm not ready for that title. And so you might feel again that you can't do something. I know you can do it, right? The tools are out there from me and from many others, but you have to know. So again, if you've never heard of Bhutan, you're not buying a ticket. So it's not that you can't do it. You can't do it because you don't know it's possible. So really, when you're starting to learn how to touch your child, and touch, I mean to facilitate movement, right? There's a difference between touching your child and touching like, to get vision, and that's what Movement Lesson is about, and that's what we offer. So first plan of action with Movement Lesson is you're going to find a stable environment for your child. I have a free course in breathing, right? Just for you to stabilize your child, calm their system to get them ready for it. Free. Again, that's at movementlesson.academy. And from there, once you get a better feel for your touch, now you're going to go after, again, that initiation. First of all, can they initiate? Then from initiation, then we go to stimulation and then to enhance that movement. So a child has to go from here first before they can get to here. And it's again, this is adult. Adult wants to go from point A to point B. That's adult thinking. For your child, right, there's no plan of action, right? They're just like, ooh, they might even not say, ooh, ball. It might be, ooh, red, or it's moving, right? So it depends on where they're at. So learning your child's characteristics, right? This is where we have our vision programs and movement lesson programs, which fine-tune your child's characteristics of learning, which we all have. I'm a very visual learner. If I can see it, I can reproduce it. Now, whether it's like cooking or something like that, or doing movement lesson, right? This is why I do all these videos, because that's how I learn, right? But some of you are auditory, where you want to listen to it, and some of you again now have to do more rote or reading based, where you need to do the book first. So that's where, again, I have the PDFs, I have the videos, I have my podcast, I have the audios. I do all of that to see where your style of learning is, because it doesn't matter what I'm offering you. If it doesn't resonate to something that you can go home and take, then there's where my gap is in my teaching you. Because a good teacher is someone that they have learners. So again, whether you're doing movement lesson or not, first of all, you need to ask yourself, is this something that's attainable to me, that I can start using this at least at a low level to keep with the continuity of care, right? You want that consistency, because even without lockdown, sometimes maybe your physio is out sick or in a meeting for 2 weeks, and you're going to have gaps no matter what you do. So you need to fill the gaps. So that should be your first plan of action. You're right. It's not necessarily, my child has not accomplished this. What have they accomplished? Let's look at not all the positive, but where your child is focusing on their movement abilities. So again, if you're working with someone that's looking at your transitioning skills and the successes and how to continue the successes, this is also why I did movement lesson. Everybody walked into my house and looked at my kids like, he's never going to walk, he's never going to talk. Would I hire a lawyer that says I can't win your case? Would I hire an accountant that's like, you're going to get audited and ripped off by the IRS? No. So you want someone in your life that's going to be like, come on, you can do it. Okay, this part might be a little bit difficult, but here is our plan of action, right? So creating your own plan of action and incorporating that with other people's plan of actions. But if it's like, you need to come to me. You can't, you're not capable. Right now, I don't know if that's the program for you, and it's okay to find other means. And so again, I'm happy to have you. We have a wonderful just wonderful group for Movement Lesson for parents and practitioners. People post their videos. Again, it's free. I don't charge. Once a week I do like a Facebook Live, and I go over, you can see some of the lives that I do, and I offer my opinions of what is your first plan of action, right? Where do we need to start with that person? Because each child is different. I know you want to say, but my child specifically has stage 4 cerebral palsy. I understand that, and I have compassion to it, but it's the way your child organizes movement is going to be completely unique, not different, unique to that individual. And we have to take that uniqueness and draw out of them what we can do to again have successful movement. So this is what I'm just trying to offer to you is stabilizing yourself, getting a plan of action. Don't overwhelm yourself. Please do not say, my child's hardly rolling over, but they're going to walk within 2 weeks. You know what I mean? You still want to be realistic, but you want to have daily implementation. The saddest thing or the worst thing that I see is, I've been watching you for 2 years, I still haven't done anything. And I get it that you might be nervous, you might not feel like you know what you're doing. And that's just a learning curve. We all scribble outside of the lines when we start. Please remember that with your child as well. Special needs are not, right? Nothing in life is perfect. To a child, every touch is a good touch. Every response is a good, they don't look at good and bad, right? That comes from adulthood, which is not always a good thing. But you really want to offer the tools for your child. I'm here to help you however I can. And I hope you find someone in your life, again, whether you go to Movement Lesson or not, please use these tips to help you create a successful family unit, a successful plan of action, right? Remember, I used to, way back in my past life, before I produced a special needs child, I was a bedding and showroom designer. I did the Oprah Angel Network bed with Karen Neuberger, right? And I was on Oprah passing out pajamas. That was my bed way back when. But you can't take an idea and go to market in a week, right? There's going to be sections that you have to do. You have to find the artwork. You have to cut the screen. You have to then go to the mill. I have to do my strike-offs, all of those kind of things. Then we have to all match on the colors. Then the colors, you can have a great bed, right? But shrinking it down to a little 4x6 ad in Bed Bath & Beyond, let's say, right? All of a sudden that gorgeous blue might look purple. And so you really have to look at and think about the whole picture. There's no difference at what we have to do with special needs, right? So when having that, and I finally just said, when I just had naysayers, I just said, I need to have my own plan of action. And that's what I did. Right? So I was a mom first, and then Movement Lesson happened, and now here I am. I just want to help you first get a good plan of action, right? And I'm actually thinking of, I should have, or a free PDF on you working on your checklist to get that happening, right? Getting ready for that plan of action if you don't have it. And if that's a good idea, please let me know. Because like I said, if you know me, I'm a helper. I try and do everything for you. But welcome to Movement Lesson, movementlesson.academy. That will take you into the courses. We're building courses right now because, again, I was about to travel and train. This is what I do. And now I've put everything online. Right? Everything online, and I'm creating new courses going into cranial, going into lasers. Not that I'm going into overwhelming you. That's not my purpose. Every person has a need for their child. I'm just trying to satisfy those needs in a course of action. So my plan of action is I let you know what's going on. I teach you touch and how to stabilize a system. I don't care who you're working with. That is your number one priority. If your child feels unstable, the learning is not going to happen. So if this is your child's more stable position, don't bring them here, right? Because this, to them, especially if they have vision issues, might make them unstable. It's really that simple. We stabilize the system. Now we find out what they're using the best and what they need to synchronize that with and go from there. So thank you again. I'm here to help. Anything that you need, put over onto the group in Facebook, Movement Lesson for Parents and Practitioners. The links are all below. Thank you so much and have a great day and good luck with all of this. And remember, thank you for the internet. but we're all here to help you. There's many people out there. Thanks.